now, it's time for the College of Ice with Brian Brosdahl and Steve Panaz.
Hey guys, welcome to College of Ice. Every time I see that video of that tip-up tournament, I want to start running after that thing as well. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody travels safe and has a great holiday with family and friends. I can tell you, I got up this morning, I looked in the fridge at home, and here's a 16-pound turkey thawing out in the on the top shelf. And I realized that with COVID, we canceled the family and friends that were coming over. So it's going to be Karen and I and Pierce with a 16-pound bird. So if anybody's looking for some turkey, feel free to stop by. Tony, hey, thanks for joining us already. Hey, we've been hearing reports of good ice coming in. I know we've got some fishable ice. I started getting a text from Bro yesterday with picture after picture of him out on the lake. So I want to talk to him about that in just a second. So, hey, Bro, come on, bud. Want to get you on here. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I've got the ice fishing cheeks going on here.
Do you? You got the burn going on?
I do. It was awesome.
So, hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. Are you guys having turkey or grouse this year?
Typically, as tradition, we like to have some grouse, and I got one right here, and I'm just waiting. I hope he doesn't move. He's been drumming all day. But he's hidden. He doesn't know I can see him.
Hey, I had fun Wednesday night. Wasn't it cool having Kevin Van Dam and Chris Russell on?
Absolutely. It was a great time.
Just to have access to that amazing fishing talent, it's pretty cool. Hey, I'd also like to congratulate Daryl Ekstrom from Chaska, Minnesota for winning last week's ice package. There we go, Daryl up there.
Daryl!
$169 package of Frabill products, which is pretty cool. Bro, if the listeners tonight want to win, how do they do that tonight?
Just comment, ask questions, and like and share our show, and you're in to win.
So show us the prize package. Yeah, there's the like and thing. I do want to add that with ice conditions changing, one of the things, if you guys could comment, is send up your location and some of the local ice conditions. I think that would be very, very cool. But here are some of the products that you can win from Frabill and that sort of thing. So it's very cool. Hey, Bro, you got out of the ice yesterday. If you sent me any more texts, I was going to jump in the truck and drive up there because, my phone was lit up. You burned my battery out by half the morning. But, hey, talk to me a little bit about the particular lakes that you targeted yesterday. Where were you finding fishable ice? And, what are the lake characteristics? I want to know what lakes you're on, but the characteristics of the lakes you were fishing.
Well, typically I target shallow bodies of water earlier, and I have a different playlist as the winter progresses. And so some of the same lakes that you duck hunters are hunting that have fish in them, chain of lakes, the shallowest one of the chain, lakes that have good vegetation, a chance of catching something good, big perch, bluegills, crappies, walleyes, a lot of the panfish up here in deep water. So you don't want to target the lakes maybe that you want to go to. Have your playlist for shallow lakes. Do they have good milfoil? Do they have coontail? Do they have cabbage weeds? Good weed lines, close to shore, that kind of stuff. And I have a lot of lakes all over the place. I don't just have them near my house. I have lakes near Bemidji, near close to Park Rapids, Walker, Grand Rapids, all the way to Duluth on up to the Arrowhead. And if I get a chance, I try to figure out what we've had for temperatures. I actually found 4.5, close to 5 inches of ice, and
wow.
And it was really solid ice. But that being said, I chiseled the whole way, I drilled the whole way, had all the safety gear, and it was awesome. But and there was a lot of places I could have went, and I just chose, and I found a good bite and caught a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you got walleyes yesterday. Run some of those pictures, actually, Kai. I'd like to show some of those out there. But, hey, Bro, how deep of water did you find the fish, and how deep? What was the max depth of some of the lakes you were on?
They get down to about 23 feet, and I have a fish here that I'm going to bring up here in a second. There's a nice walleye.
Yep.
And Those fish were in 8 to 11 feet, and then here's one I just caught.
You have the actual fish at home?
Yeah, we're gonna have a meal, but for Heather and I, it only takes 4 or 5 fish. 4 or 5. The walleyes were too big; they all went back. We caught bass. It's just fun. And pike, it doesn't matter. It's scratching that itch. Early ice.
Oh, you're crazy. Hey, we got a really cool show tonight. We've got a Frabill Pro and a conservation officer, Jeremy Rowe, coming in about 10 minutes or so. He's out of South Dakota. We got Brad Novak. He's going to come back with Lee. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome, man. We've got Brad Novak from Omnia Fishing coming on board in a little bit. We've got Russ Francisco from Marine General up in Duluth, a gateway up to the Lake Superior and that fabulous fishery up there. So that's going to be kind of fun. But hey, bro, one of the things I wanted to talk about was colors. What's the difference in your mind between, say, glows, UVs, and just kind of standard colors? What are some of your go-tos, and when do you go to glow or go to some of the UV stuff?
Well, depending on the water clarity, I always like the green, and anything looks like perch in my area because that's a major food source, and that's a fire belly spoon from Northland Fishing Tackle, but it's in traditional colors. Green is a great color up here, and you can't go wrong. There's an eyeball spoon, and you can see I got green and glow, and glows work great even during the day because when you bring it up to bait it, it's getting glowed by the sun, and you put it back down, and it's ready to go. Here's a UV buckshot. Now you'll notice the UV actually worked really well for the perch. I still have the meat on there. I've waxworms, T-boned and tailed down. UV worked better than anything else, but the fire belly spoons are just a magnet for most fish.
That's amazing. So one of the things I wanted to cover tonight, and I know you're excited about this, is it's Black Friday week. We've got Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to start hitting the not in the malls, but they're going to start going online and going to their favorite stores. And one of the things I'm excited about is sharing our thoughts on a number of great gifts for the ice anglers in your family and friends, and it's also a great way to drop hints for if you're looking for good things. So we've got a number of really awesome new stuff coming out there. We're going to talk about some apparel. We're going to talk about some shelters. We're going to talk about rods, reels, that kind of stuff. So even augers. So that's going to be really cool. So Tracy Ann, good to hear from you. Thanks for coming in. Keep those ice reports coming in. That's really going to be cool. So, bro, how many fish did you actually catch yesterday?
Oh, well, I don't know, 50, 60. And I'm not just saying a number like that. I truly was busy and had swarms of perch coming through. I was expecting just to get a dozen fish, and they never stopped biting. And but a lot of the places I've been checking out, there's people popping up, and they're out in areas. All right, John, I like that. Even a little lake attached to Bemidji Lake, there's people all over it with 5 to 6 inches of ice. But stay close. All right, Eric, great comment.
Hey,
Eric. Stay close to where people are, and if you're gonna, don't go on your own if you don't truly understand ice. We're going out, we understand it, and if there's a crack in the ice, remember, ice expands as it's freezing, so it makes cracks, and those cracks are like welded together. So you can follow, you drill, you see the depth, and you see the white of the crack, and you can gauge it. But if you can't read ice like that, bring someone who can, or stay where there's people, and it's safe to be in the middle. And I like the ice reports coming in here. That's great.
I do too. This is awesome. Scott, thank you from No Ice down in Southwest Iowa. I just drove across North Dakota a couple of days back, and even there, Bismarck and, that area, I expected Valley City. I expected hard ice up there, and there was still open water. And we'll talk a little bit more with safety when we join Jeremy in just a few minutes, but that's pretty cool. Hey, I want to go back to colors because you're not spilling the beans here. When you got super clear water, you're looking for bright colors or dark colors. Talk to me a little bit about that. And if you're looking at real stained waters, what's your color palette look like a little bit?
Well, in clear bodies of water, I want to know what they're feeding on. If you're targeting perch, you want to use a match the hatch kind of scenario we've been talking about for many years. And in those bodies of water, perch patterns are really good. But sometimes perch, it could be gold perch, it could be glow perch, it could be, kind of green perch, but anything that looks like what they're after. In some places, they eat spot tails. In other lakes, like up at Lake of the Woods, they're into emerald shiners. But there's a huge insect base too, and crayfish. And a lot of lakes have rusty crayfish, and crayfish are actually a big food source. And in the wintertime, in the basins, the crayfish some of them will dump down in the basin, but the fish are going to be around everything. So it's good to have contrasting water. And so reds and red glows and green and purple on clear water, silver. It's not always gold, silver. You get on lakes like Bemidji or Leech Lake, sometimes silver is good in Walker Bay, but on the main lake, gold is the trick. And so contrasting colors in dark water, I've done really well with purple. And
purple is a color I'm using much more than I used to.
I never used to use it up here, and I ordered some bait from Vados, and I just got it today and went out and pile drive the fish and just kept 4 or 5 for Heather and I. And but maggots and waxworms on a glow or UV is gonna be good. And in UV, dark water or Great Lakes water where there's a little bit of a stain or it's stirred up. Remember, Red Lake and Lake of the Woods had a lot of wind during freeze up, and that changes everything under the ice.
Bro, in a lot of the lakes, especially the shallower lakes where you're fishing weed walleyes, and in a lot of the lakes too that are being stocked and they're relying on stocking to maintain. I live on a lake like that right now. One of the primary forage of these fish is not perch, which you would think of, or shiners or something like that. It's juvenile bluegills.
Yes.
And so I find more and more that the purples, the reds, the yellows, and all that really match the bluegill colors, the blues, are actually pretty dynamite in a crankbait pattern and a spoon pattern for walleyes, which is really awesome. So
great question, Kendra. And fish see colors, and it changes from water to water, and even in really stained water. Gold. How about copper? Gold, copper in stained water, purple, fire tiger purple, just little changes. It just means you're going to have to buy more than one buckshot, just try stuff. You got to make sure you have, I got bit off. My favorite lure, and good thing I had one with me. Otherwise I'd be a long drive home.
But talking about color is one of those things that can be very important or not that important. It really comes down to your locations. Number one, is the bait that you're presenting, is it the right depth? Are you fishing it correctly? And that color in a lot of cases is one of those things you can fine tune to catch more fish versus, sometimes it's a major color deal, but most of the time color is probably not the most important thing there is out there. So that's an important thing to consider on that UV purple. Hey, I'd like to bring in Jeremy Rowe from South Dakota right now. Jeremy, you've been sitting in the queue for just a second. How you been, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Look at all those perch and walleyes behind you. You've been a Fraperville pro staffer now for about 8 years, and you've got a degree in fish and wildlife out of South Dakota State. By the way, I was with the school there. I had a scholarship offer to play football, and I kind of wonder what my life would have been if I'd have gone that direction. It would be kind of fun.
You probably would have never left.
Hey, you were a game warden for 16 years. Now you're a regional manager, I guess, or supervisor for it. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was you've seen it all, I'm sure, over 16 years. Talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you've seen happen on ice, in terms of ice safety, and what are some of the things that ice anglers should keep in mind, particularly in the lakes that you're on?
Sure. One thing that we always stress is, no ice is 100% safe. You always got to take those extra precautions. So that's kind of one of the main things that we stress up here, especially early ice. Obviously, we always say bring a buddy, have a buddy system. Bro was talking a little bit about, using the chipper and chip your way out and auger your way out and check that ice. All those things are greatly important all the way out. So, we see guys going out earlier and earlier every single year. One of the main things that we see, especially right now, is obviously we don't have too much ice right now, but as we get ice, we'll see a lot of waterfall that will be sitting on that water as it freezes. And then, the ice angler comes along in 2-3 days from now, and it might be 5 inches of ice on the shoreline or next to the shore, and then they go cruising across the lake, and then they, ultimately drive into 1 inch of ice from some waterfall.
I saw that.
They got to be paying attention at all times. So.
I saw that in North Dakota last week, these huge schools of snow geese and Canadians that were just, I mean, literally thousands of them in the middle of the lakes and, keeping that water open. I guess I had never thought of that before, and Bro mentioned it too. You got that good ice on shore. You think it's good all the way across, and the waterfall can be
especially, in the Midwest here. And we see such a huge snow goose migration that comes through here. And they just seem like they stay longer and longer until that ice froze up. They'll literally stay till it's froze right all the way around them, and then even stand on the ice and melt it throughout the night before they head south. So, I mean, you definitely be aware of what's going on all the time on some of those lakes.
Yeah. And I know that you guys fish a lot of sloughs with a lot of cattails and bulrushes and that sort of thing. And those things can trap heat, and they can be a problem as well.
Yeah, we see that a lot, especially up in the Northeast. They had some ice here just 2 weeks ago, and then there's guys that were walking out on about 2 inches of ice for what I've seen. It sounds like that's pretty much gone by now. But everybody thinks, if you walk next to the cattails and whatnot, and that's where we see most people go through. Especially if you start driving four-wheelers on it, they'll drive in through around the cattails thinking that's safer, and then that's where you see the four-wheelers go through. I seen Bro holding these up here. So
yeah. Oh yeah,
these things are
a must.
These things are lifesavers. With the line of work that I do, we get called out all the time for people that go through the ice, that people that drive a truck through or whatnot. Ultimately the bad thing about ice fishing is there's not really a quick rescue option. I mean, if you fall through the ice, you don't have a lot of options. So I mean, we always let's say the buddy system and have a plan. And these things are definitely a plan. I mean, we don't see a lot of people that drowned in the ice from falling through because they have these sitting in their hands, or they have some self-rescue, plan ahead. So that goes a long, long ways. I mean, because ultimately, if you fall through the ice, a lot of it is a self-rescue. I mean, the timing's not on your side. So, I mean, having these here, if you look at, obviously these are a great one. You can go around your neck like you guys got, they come out as you spike in the ice. We've seen the, other ones that go together and whatnot. And if you look at what happens when you fall into the water, you basically, your hands start to freeze, you lose all gross motor skills. So those ice picks that you got to pull apart, or if they're in your pockets or anything like that, those just don't work when your hands are freezing. So these, having them around your neck, having them readily available at all times, I mean, that's huge for self-rescue.
Yeah, I found myself.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of people have them in their shacks or in their sleds. Well, that doesn't always work too well.
No.
Yeah, I found too that when I actually went through on purpose, is you've got to kick yourself so you're level to the ice to even have a prayer to get out, and it's pretty interesting. Hey, I wanted to show you some video real quick of, in the old days, I used to tow everything. I used to tow my fish house on a rope instead of a tow bar. So I know Bro is a big fan of the tow bar, and I suspect you are as well, Jeremy. But hey, check out this video real quick of what happens. Kai, go ahead and run the video. You can see that fish house, there's no control of it. And then as soon as you slow down, I mean, the thing just crashes into your, ruining your rods and breaking electronics and stuff like that. So I think that's important. So get a tow bar for your fish house. I think, you can see even in a rougher ice, you got total control of it right there.
Hey, Steve, that was my house you borrowed, wasn't it?
No, I was the one that tipped over there, Bro.
That's what happens when people borrow my stuff.
So, Jeremy, you fish some really unique bodies of water around home. I know you fish Lake Thompson and some of the probably Wabae and Enemy Swim and that sort of thing. But talk about the South Dakota lakes. I know you're based in the southeast corner around Sioux Falls, and you're not dealing with the lakes that are fluctuating or continue to grow in size like they are up in the Glacial Lakes area, but you still fish unique waters. Talk a little bit about how you approach these lakes, and when does the fishing really, when do you like to get out?
I love to get out early ice. I mean, that just seems like, we're fishing in the boats right now. I mean, I was literally fishing just a couple days ago in the boat yet. And you're already starting to see where those fish are transitioned up and starting to make a plan for ice. But go out and fish a lot of our lakes around here. Main thing that I'm looking for is an old shoreline. That is kind of just the go-to spot. If you have that old shoreline where our lakes are, they flooded, down here, early 90s, mid 90s, it really got outside their banks. So you find that transition from that old shoreline that you break off. That's usually where your weed beds are and stuff. And that always can be successful, any time of the year. When I'm out, I fish the Missouri River quite a bit, especially ice fishing. I get up with Eric Brandwright and we'll go up there and fish. Kind of the telltale thing that current's a big deal up there. But one of the big ones that I always use and I always kind of tell people is, a long, narrow point that leads to deep water. And to the deep water that always comes in with the current. And those are always just kind of the notorious spots that always hold fish. So those are the kind of the two things. Look for an old shoreline and look for those long, narrow points.
That's big awesome. Water there. That's really big water, and there's a lot of deep water out there. When does that freeze over?
Usually early January, you can start to see, your first little bit of ice out there. Eric and I, we fish out there at Mobridge quite a bit, and we're usually not going till about that, I think it's the first week of January. That first weekend is when we're usually out there for the Mobridge ice fishing tournament, and we get to spend the week together and burn around and chase some walleyes in some deep water. It's a good time.
So your approaches on walleye fishing, are you fishing more the jig type approach? Are you doing any type of live bait, tip ups, that sort of thing, or what's been your your go-to approach?
For us down here, probably my biggest go-to approach that it's kind of been my little ace in the pocket has been fishing sucker chubs a lot. I'll do it in the summer. We'll do it all. The big Fraeville bait coolers that came out last year with the double aerators.
Yeah.
Those things are so sweet to be able to keep your chubs in there, keep your sucker chubs or your creek chubs if you catch them. But I'll fish those all the way through the winter. So I'll use a lot of lipless crankbaits, a lot of jigging wraps, bigger spoons, and then also I'll put out the tip ups with the chubs on them. And that's kind of my ace in the hole in that nice shallow water, that 4 foot of water, and put a big old chub down there. It's pretty killer most of the time.
Wow. So do you have any tips if you accidentally have one extra fish? I mean, how do you talk to a game warden so you don't get in trouble?
It's always an accident, right?
I'm still looking for that tip. No comment. All right, we'll leave you alone on that.
Just don't catch that extra one, or just make it back and you're good to go.
So if somebody wanted to follow in your footsteps, I know a lot of people would love to work in the outdoors. Bro is very fortunate to have a full-time passion, chasing his passion. You do as well. I mean, what advice might you have for somebody wanting to follow in your footsteps?
We get a lot of young people, a lot of outdoor enthusiasts that like to come and visit with us and, want to be a conservation officer, want to be a fisheries biologist or whatnot. And, we always tell these people, or I always tell them, try to get your foot in the door. That's the big thing. Most of us, we all have degrees, whether it's a wildlife degree or, a lot of our officers have criminal justice degrees or what that might be, what that might look like. But, get a degree, work on your grades right away, and then get your foot in the door and definitely look for those internships. I mean, we hire, 90% of our people come from our internship program, and that is any state.
Okay.
I mean, if you can get your foot in the door there and work hard, that's going to go a long ways. Kind of put a face to the name, I guess. So
knowing them makes a big difference, especially when you can meet them and know them and get to know their work ethics and everything. And it sounds like a great thing.
Yeah, it's the internships can be your friend or they can hurt you. We've had a few people that get their foot in the door, but they don't want to work very hard, so they can go both ways for some of them.
Hey, Jeremy, you also host a youth fishing event. If somebody's looking for more information about it, tell us a little bit about it, but also how did they get a hold of you on it?
Sure. So a friend of mine and I, we started the Dakota Falls ice fishing event out of Falls, South Dakota there. We actually are going to take a year off this year just because of the whole COVID thing and trying to figure it out. But we have about 500 kids that come each year. It's a free event. We give out, close to $10,000 in prizes from
awesome.
The Dakota anglers and everything. Wow. We kind of started this when I was out checking ice fishermen, ice anglers. You just didn't see that kid base out there. We didn't see that youth anglers out there. So I just been really kind of thought about that. And that was it's probably been 6-7 years ago now. So I got together with a good friend of mine is when we started it. So if anybody ever wants to be a part of it, I mean, definitely Dakota Falls Ice Fishing Facebook page is where all the information is at. So it's a great event. It's a lot of fun. 500-600 kids will get on the ice between them and their families in one day and give away
incredible
prizes. So it's a big event. It's pretty fun.
That's incredible. Yep. Hey, bro, before we let Jeremy go, do you got anything that you want to ask?
Well, yeah, I love the area. I love South Dakota. And hi, Eric Brandwright. How you doing? And was one of my favorite places. I fished tournaments out there, and I've ice fished one of the original first tournaments of ice, and it's just a great area. It's a very unique place where you go big perch fast, and you just got to know people, right?
Yeah. So whenever you want to come out, you just give me a call.
Bro, it sounds like a road trip. Sounds like a road trip coming up. Yeah.
I got my mug for that.
Well, Jerry, thank you for what you do for our sport, and thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate the time, and
thank you.
Look forward to getting on the ice with you sometime.
Yeah, sounds good. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
You too. Thanks. Have a great night. Hey, bro, we're going to start going into some of our product ideas, our gift ideas. You know, we really want to make sure that everybody here gets some good gift ideas coming up. So I'd like to bring in Brad Novak with OmniaFishing.com. Brad, hey, Brad, how are you?
Hello. Good, how are you?
Look at all those. What is that behind you?
Oh, man, we got a bunch of
You got lots of houses, huh?
We've been carrying and shifting these things around the warehouse all week. So we would like to get them out the door to everybody listening tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. So you've got some really cool specials available. Yep. And one of the fish houses that I know Bro is a big fan of is that Frabill Fortress 260. Bro, talk a little bit about that.
Well, I love it because it's got a kick-out bottom, so you get more square footage of room, and the top is insulated, so you don't get that frost and that dripping on you like a little rainforest above you. And the way it's shaped helps it from tipping or blowing around on the ice. And so it's a really cool pattern that they've made for this, and it's great for anglers. It's a serious house and sharp looking, but it fishes better than any other pop-up out there.
Kai, bring up the photo of the Fortress. I really think that the listeners here tonight would really want to see it. That's the old style. Let's go to the new one. Yeah, and if you look at it, you can actually see how the bottom goes out versus comes in like the old style.
Oh, yeah.
And the nice thing about that is it really helps drive the wind up and over the fish house versus under it. And you also get about 50% more fishable space inside. So it's a perfect size house for 2 to 3 anglers. Bro, what does that thing weigh? I think it's a 33 pounds.
Light.
Yeah.
So you could pack it anywhere, you know, even if I have some flip styles, if I have a 195 or whatever, I could put this behind the seat in my truck and have it as a spare if we have extra people. But Heather and I love fishing in it because you could sprawl out and have a lot of holes and gear in it.
That's awesome. So, Brad, you've got, I know the MSRP on the Frabill Fortress is $299.
$299, yep.
What are you guys selling for it?
We are selling right now for $179.
$179.
$179, yes.
And free shipping on that?
Free shipping as well. So anytime you order over $50 on OmniaFishing.com, you get free shipping, and so that meets the threshold. We will ship it to you.
Oh,
wow.
My gosh.
So, bro, are you buying me 1 or 2 of those?
Oh my! You ain't gonna be able to get any. They're gone.
And Brad, how long does this sale go on?
Sale's going on for a while. So we are actually, Omnia Fishing is hosting an ice event next weekend, or Thursday through the weekend. And so these deals, we're going to expand on our deals. So this one is good all the way through then. We do have a limited amount, but as long as we have them in stock, the sale is still going on.
So yeah, it isn't hers. Remember that. So the wife, right, Heather?
I'm all game for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, is your retail store going to be open as well as the online store with COVID, or what's the latest on that?
Yep. So Black Friday we will be in here, but like we said, everywhere we will ship these to you. Now we do have the new Ice Hunter side steps, and we can't ship those. Those are a beast to ship.
Heavy. Yeah.
So if you are local in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area, you can come pick them up. But these ones we will ship to you, or if you want, you can come pick them up in the store and maybe set them up this weekend.
That's awesome. Hey, one of the other products that Bro and I are huge fan of is the Plano Edge tackle boxes, and I know you guys offer a number of them there.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of the bladed jig box. That's an open water bait, but I've never seen a box that organizes your jigs or your bladed jigs like that at all. And you guys have those on sale, or they're not really on sale?
Nope, they are on sale. So we started our Black Friday sale early, and so right now those are on sale 20% off. as well as a lot
Oh,
of the
wow.
stuff on our website. So if you all you have to do is use code BF2020 and you get 20% off Plano. All the information's on our site, on our homepage.
Well, that's
So
awesome.
those
I
are
didn't
on
even know
sale.
that box was on sale, bro. And we picked that one anyway.
Yeah.
And bro, which one are you using for ice fishing? You using an edge box for your ice box?
Well, I've got my home unit here, which I don't want to bring on the ice because it might end up in someone else's hands. But 37s, 36s,
Yep.
and then I like the little 35. This is
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
fan
red
of-
lake box right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all.
I do have some breaking news. The 35s have not shipped yet. So those are the only ones we don't have yet, but we do have the smaller 3600s
Oh, the 36s
here.
are great.
Yeah, 36. So 35s are coming. They're on order. We don't have them quite just yet.
Yeah.
You know, the nice thing about the edge box is everybody thinks about the, rain and everything for introducing moisture into it. But the edge box it has that waterproof seal around it, and it has that restrictor in there. So it's actually an awesome box for ice fishing because it keeps your stuff dry. And if some moisture does get in there, it's out there. So
The snow, break the flakes up into little micro stuff and it gets in everywhere. The snow doesn't get in them. And if you do get a little bit of snow when you're opening and you're in a storm out there fishing, you don't have to worry. It's got a water wick, and it's truly a great design. But it's not just a winter gift. If you have someone that's a bass head, you think ahead right now.
yeah,
Those are really neat features, but by far the best feature is you don't have to cut these little pads.
I
You
love
don't
that.
have to cut them. They come pre-cut. All you have to do is slide them in. No more cutting.
yeah,
Oh.
which is awesome.
I've got my thumbs trying to cut those things,
Yeah.
and then you step on them later somewhere.
So, bro, I know you're a fan of round tip ups. Let's talk a little bit about that Frabill Pro Thermal.
Oh, I love it. It stacks. They stack in a bucket like cards. And when you take them out, they fold out. They cover the hole. They keep the hole from freezing. They have a little compartment. Let's say you're fishing for walleyes and you got lighter line and you get bit off. You don't have to run back to your house to get hooks. You can leave them right in there. And that's a neat thing is how organized it is. And you don't have to worry about freeze up. You can just put them out there and let them go.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys have a special on the Frabill Pro Thermal rounds, the chartreuse one, which actually comes with the little shiner light, which is very cool. You can see the light right on the yellow light right there. Yeah, we got a photo of it here. And what's great about this particular product is, bro mentioned they fit in the buckets, but the nice thing too is that later in the season you can get light piping coming through the hole, and if you're fishing, say, pike high up in the water column, a lot of times that light will spook them. So I like the round tip ups for blocking the light, and then the holes don't freeze up as well. So now you guys have these on special as well, right?
Yep. So these are $24.99. If you buy 2, you get 1 free. So all you have to do is add 3 to your cart. That 1 will automatically get deducted. So buy 2, get 1 free.
Wow. If you're in Wisconsin where you can use 3 lines, you're done right
I know. Yeah.
That covers 3 people who are jigging.
Yep.
That's amazing. So Omnia is a unique online tackle store. I mean, you guys actually do provide recommendations, specific lure, rods, reels, whatever recommendation lines based on specific waters.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about how you guys developed those recommendations.
Yeah, it's funny. Listening to Bro earlier is basically music to my ears and talking about what colors to use in water clarity. So that's basically what our website does, among a lot of other things, is when you're going to a specific lake, there are a bunch of different factors that go into selecting the most appropriate lure to increase your chances of getting bit. And so we take things into consideration like season, water clarity, like you guys had mentioned, time of year, what structures in the lake, what species are in the lake. We use all of those different data points into recommending products specific to you.
And a lot of your recommendations too are coming from consumers that are actually filling out fishing reports and your ambassador program. I think it's a very cool idea because we do the same thing on Lake Commandos. We'll pull up to a body of water, and bro, you've been in the boat with me. I mean, we'll walk to the dock. We'll look at the water clarity. We'll look at time of year. We'll look at species. We'll look at forage. We'll look at structure. and really and species that we're targeting, and it starts coming together. But you guys have done that process for people that are shopping, and that's really unique. Nobody else is doing that.
Exactly. And then like you had just mentioned, we're adding that extra component of real-time information where people can, if they go out and they have a successful day on the water, they can file a fishing report and just give general information. No locations, just general information, what was working, were you jigging it fast? What color were you using? Were you using noise rattle baits, maybe silent baits? Just little tidbits that can kind of help someone new to a body of water or going out for the first time in a while. All of those different factors go into kind of helping the angler have the most success on the water.
So when does your ice event start again?
So our ice event, it's on our Facebook page, but it's December 3rd. The ice event is December 3rd. We're going to be doing a live show, but our ice event runs from December 3rd to the December 6th. So I believe it's a Thursday to a Sunday. So like I mentioned, these deals are live right now that we mentioned on here. Next week, we'll definitely be expanding on some more deals.
That's awesome. Hey, Brad, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys got some great deals. And if you guys haven't checked out OmniaFishing.com, you really got to check it out. It's
like in New York is where you want to sell it, because they could use like umpteen lines over there.
We ship free shipping.
Brad, have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye. So, bro, I don't know, man. Those are tough to beat. Those are pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, they work great. I've got 40-inch plus pike on those things, and you can set them light for walleyes. Really cool deal. And thanks for the compliment, Lee.
Yeah. And a question on if you're asking about where Omnia is located in the Twin Cities, it's actually out of Golden Valley. Just go onto their website. You can find the location, the address to the location, but it's on the west side of town, just off of like 155, if you know the area at all. So, hey, bro, let's move on to some specials that are actually available at Frabill.com. And one of them we mentioned last week, but I want to mention it again is the i3 suit.
Oh yeah, that's the one I like to use. You don't get too sweaty in it. It's a perfect ice fishing suit. I love it. And if you buy the coat, you get the bibs for 50% off. And it's warm. You can kneel. It's ergonomic. The knees are pre-bent. The elbows are pre-bent. And it's got self-rescue spikes right there. Just love that suit. And actually had it today. I was wearing it today and yesterday because I was ice fishing.
That's awesome. Quit teasing me, by the way. Hey, the other thing and I know you're a big fan of the ice, the straight line reels. They have combos on sale for $25 off as well. So talk a little bit about the 371 combos.
Well, the 371 combos from the micro light all the way up to the 35-inch. You got all the different rod combos. You've got the different lights, the heavies, but the 371 reel has no spin because it's straight line. It brings the line on the way the line goes off. And, spin scares fish, especially in pressured waters. If the fish are biting like crazy, you might not need it. But if you truly want a chance at really big bluegills, at big perch, you want 371. Reels in 22 inches of line every turn, free spools. It's a solid reel. We've had it for years. Everybody loves it. Great bearings. It'll free spool an 84th ounce jig, and just set the tension. It's a clutch drag system, so if you get a big fish, you don't have to worry. They're a really cool reel, and they have their place in time. I just love them. Yeah, so they've got I know Frabill's got them. There's a photo of one right here. So they've got a ton of models on sale right now that are available at $20 off, I believe. So it's instead of $100, it's $79.99, which is a good deal, free shipping and stuff like that. So that's awesome. Hey, I know I'll never forget a trip with you, bro, where you and I went out. We bolted across Lake Winnibigoshish. We hit some little transition area out in the basin, and it was carpeted with perch. Yeah. And you're fishing, and you caught like 4 or 5 of them, and then your hands froze because it was 26 below zeros, and you said take over the hole so the school doesn't leave. Yeah. So I'm catching fish like crazy, and you're standing over there warming up your hands, and then my hands went numb and I couldn't fish them anymore. And then you moved into the hole, but you were too slow and the fish left. So we ended up with, I think, 10 or 11. But
bottom line is if you don't keep your hands warm on the ice, particularly when it's 25, 30 below zero, I mean, it can get ugly. And that's why I'm excited. I think the best fishing glove on the market out there right now is the Fish Monkey Yeti.
Oh, absolutely.
It's an amazing glove. It actually comes in a glove. I've got one actually. Here's a picture of it here, but I've actually got a glove and a mitten right with me right now. They're an absolutely cool product. They've got a gold leather palm, which is really grippy. They've got 350 grams of insulation in the back. You can see how meaty and heavy duty these are. They've got pre-curved fingers. And bro, talk a little bit about the liner inside. The liners are really unique as well.
A liner there that spreads the heat around. This is a new level of genius here. This actually disperses the heat and spreads it around. It's got a cell phone finger.
Yep.
It's got nose wipe right here. See, you know how you get that little.
Yeah, it's right here, man. I use it.
Coming down. I mean, and then the leather palms, they're nice because when it's 30, 40 below, yeah, I don't know if it gets that wherever you guys are at, but when it's really cold, everything turns brittle and hard and just a great glove. I mean, Fish Monkey's created some genius stuff.
Yeah, they've got some special. So if you're looking, I don't care if you're an ice fisherman or an open water fisherman, Fish Monkey's got some really cool products out there. Great gloves for open water and ice, and they got some specials going on right now as well. And so bring up that graphic, Kai. It's they have a black thing. It's already a Black Friday sale is going on now. So if you spend $100 or more, you can get one of these face guards, which is not a balaclava. It's a face guard that just comes up over your nose and face, but it provides some air restriction. It's actually a very cool deal. And if you spend $30 or something as well, you can get shipping on it, and you can also get a glove pack. So I recommend you guys go to fishmonkeygloves.com and check out their products. I can assure you that these are the best gloves I've ever had on the market, and I'm proud to talk about them.
Absolutely, and I get extended periods of cold. Last year we had over a month of 30 below in the morning, and so I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh my, again? Where you're breaking handles off your cars, just opening them. And so Fish Monkey, thank you.
So, bro, one last thing. We've covered houses. We've covered, a lot of different things. One thing we haven't covered is augers. And I know there's a company out there that you're proud to work with as well. That's
Razor.
Yep. Kyle, a question on that. These gloves, when it's 30 below, no, your hands they're not too bulky. No. If I'm fishing a large fish, a lot of times, and it's not too cold, I will take the gloves off. But you'll be surprised how really how much you can handle the reel and the rod with these.
They're very ergonomic and they're kind of finessey. You could use a straight line combo with. Well, I can. Let's just say that I might give it to someone else and they'll backlash it. But I'm just saying that they work really well. And I was fussy when I gave him my requirements about what I'd like to see in a glove, and he came out with this. And the Mossberg, he's a genius.
Tim, yeah, owner of the company is amazing. Hey, we're gonna skip Razor for just a moment. I want to bring Russ Francisco in, owner of Marine General up in Duluth, and Russ has been sitting in the queue for a few minutes. And Russ, I really appreciate it. Hey,
Russ, how are you?
It's very good to see you. It looks like you're in the holiday spirit already over there.
Love it.
Well, being Italian, you got to come home a little early the night before Thanksgiving, spaghetti with everything else. So I'm sitting in my living room. But we're getting ready for. We don't get many days off as retailers, as you know, and so we're going to take advantage of tomorrow.
Yeah, and you guys are very hard workers, and your inventory is really amazing. It's a great stop for any fisherman to come in and get some things. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and this is something I don't know much about, and bro, maybe you do, is the Great Lakes has a phenomenal fishery. You guys are based in Duluth, kind of the gateway to Lake Superior. When does that fishery key in? What are some of the hot baits? What are some of the top locations? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about fishing the Great Lakes?
Sure. Out of Duluth, we're lucky because we're on the west end of Lake Superior. So we have the St. Louis River, the basin or the harbor, and then we have the lake. People are still trolling right now. And if you drive 20 minutes from the lake, we're standing on 4 and 5 inches of ice. So it's a real interesting place to be because we're at 600 feet and the top of the hills at 1,400, so it's interesting. So this morning the fellows called us, sent me pictures. We're on a solid 6 inches of ice north of Duluth. And we're fishing and we're running predator rigs right now. We've got lots of tip ups going out. More and more people going every day. It's first ice, got to be careful, as everybody knows, but still we have really good clean ice. We don't have any snow on top of it. So we're praying for a drought. So right now we're in good shape. But so right now we're running predator rigs with suckers on them. We're running minnows on a small jig. And people are jigging that way. Pretty traditional. What'll happen here in the next, probably in the next week to 10 days, the river's got a crust on it right now. When that river hardens up, then we'll be in the upper river, and then we'll start fishing walleyes. And contrary to what people think, the walleyes don't stay out in the big lake all winter long. They and then come in and all the time and spawn like they do in a lot of places. They're already moving into the river system. They like the bait. They like the flowing water. They like when the dam gets open. They like different things. So we were shortcasting even a week ago and doing pretty well. Now we'll start to fish through the ice. And the first thing we'll do is we'll run. I brought some stuff with me. We'll start to run. Stuff like this.
Yep. Color.
Yep. And we'll run glow in the darks. A lot of golds, that type of thing. And at the same time, the pouts will come in and go up in the same area. And then we start to run heavy baits, 2 ounces, stuff like that off the bottom. So that's what we'll do. And then in February, the lower basin will usually freeze. And then we start all over again. We run buckshot rattle jigs. We run stuff like this, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And so we'll run those shads. And this, I'm excited. I want to try this year. I'm excited about this.
Oh yeah. We'll get hooked on the ice because they're hooked.
Yeah, and it's a little different shape and it makes noise, and so I'm excited about that. So awesome. We'll see that. And then once we hit, a lot of times right around February, the lake will start to freeze, the west end of the lake and the Schwamigan Bay area, and then we're on to stuff like this. It doesn't always happen, but we did last year. We got a couple of weeks, and we'll start to run jigs like this style. We'll put Cisco's on them, smelt. Let's see where I'm going. There we go. And so we'll run that type of stuff. So that's really good. And when that happens, Duluth becomes on fire. I mean, not 50 people, not 100 people, 1,000 people come, and it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just nuts.
So Russ, if somebody wants latest conditions on the ice, I know Superior can can change dramatically in a day even. Can they call the store and ask for latest ice conditions and stuff like that? Or what do you recommend on that?
Yeah, call the store. We'll tell you what's biting. Lake trout. We have a big coho fishery. We have steelhead or loopers because people can catch them and keep them. And then we've got lots of walleye fishing right out of the piers, right out of the entries. We fish pouts all the time. So lake trout. It's not really a salmon fishery other than the cohos. And it's all the way up and down the shore. I mean, it's really good. We usually get ice in the west end of the lake, right in the corner in front of the store and stuff. So we'll usually do that. If we have a good winter, we could get ice all the way to Grand Marais. And when that happens, it's a stitch. It's a ball.
Absolutely. Heather loves the coho up there, and whenever it freezes, you start seeing us around there.
Yeah, coho fishing is a ball.
Yeah.
Coho and herring, you can catch them all day long when they're there.
So the herring fishery, I know that's a unique fish for a lot of people. Talk a little bit about, targeting those and what baits, and that's a sight fish fishery, isn't it?
A little bit, but actually, they'll fish them at 30 to 40 feet. We put some cameras down and watch them swim. They'll come off the bottom, come right up underneath the ice and go back down again. And they'll swim with other fish. The big thing is the one thing about Lake Superior, people think it's really expensive to fish. Basically, when those cohos and herring come in, you're going to run your crappie rod. You're going to run a 64th, maybe an 8-ounce jig, put a wax worm on it and go fishing, put a bobber on it and go fishing or jig. So it's a pretty inexpensive fishery. You got to behave and you got to know what you're doing. You got to ask questions. So not so much to catch a fish, but you got to understand the lake doesn't always freeze, so ice can move, right? So you need to know what you're doing, and you never hide inside of a tent without watching what's going on, because you watch your line. So if you're fishing in the middle of the hole, all of a sudden the line goes to one side of the hole, you're moving. So you gotta pull stakes and go quick, and it doesn't go like in 2 seconds. But you got to pay attention. And when that line goes to one side of the hole, you look around and say, what's going on? Maybe it's time to get off and walk to the edge here and see what's happening. So So, and we don't go out a long ways as a rule, but in the years where the lake freezes whole, people go out 2-3 miles. You know, they're out in the middle of Lake Superior. It's crazy. People skate out. You'll be fishing, and people will skate right by you, a set of skates. And so it's a fun place. We're very fortunate to live where we do and be able to have all these different kinds of fishing. And you can, like I say, you can pull stakes and drive for 20 minutes and fish crappies or whatever you want in the inland lakes. The upper river is really doing well. We're starting to get jumbo perch. I mean 14 inches, 16 inches, and they're bouncing back after the flood we had 5 years ago. It sort of wiped everything out, but they're all bouncing back. So it's been a good time.
So if a first timer came up there and wanted to target, say, lake trout, and the lake allows it, are there a couple of rivers or a couple areas, cities or whatever that you'd recommend they consider going out of?
Well, we usually come out. The lake trout are always going to be, as a rule, are going to be close to shore, and I say this will be anywhere from 75 to 100 feet of water, but it's close to shore. Okay, drops off. So we come out of Duluth or maybe Two Harbors, depending on where things are happening, and then check the ice conditions, and then we go out and we jig fish, and then when the fish go deeper, like 70 to 100 feet, then we go to Power Pro line or steel line, because you need to be able to set that hook and catch a fish. If you use monofilament, you got to be a real quick runner, and you got to run, 50, 100 feet just to even set the hook. So we use non-stretch line, works a lot better, and it makes things really easy.
That's awesome. Russ, do you guys have any big promos going on at the store for Black Friday?
Yeah, this is an interesting year. We got Black Friday, ice fishing is beginning, and there's no shows. So we took all the inventory for shows, even though there's no shows, and we brought it into town. So we've got discounts on augers. If you go to the website, you'll see them all. But we got augers. We got depth sounders. You can save. We bought a bunch of Garmins. If you can save $600 on a Garmin depth sounder right now. If you want a Panoptix with live view, you can save. We're building some kits that are all seasons. We build them in the store, put them together in the store, and you can save yourself $900 to $1,000 right now. So we've got some stuff. We were really gearing up for the shows, and we took it anyway and piled it up, and it's going to be a fun season for the consumer, and we're stretching it out because the shows are in the next few weeks, and because we can't jam people into the stores, because for safety reasons and COVID reasons. We started doing this about a week ago, and we'll stretch it out for the next 3-4 weeks. So stop in at the store, call us. We're even doing curbside, whatever it takes to make people comfortable.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Well, Russ, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and I look forward to seeing you again at the ice shows when we can start going back to them again.
Someday we'll be there.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Yep. So, bro, I don't know if you read all the comments there. They said he's a legend and he knows more than you. I don't know if
Russ knows a ton. He's been there. He's a great fisherman. He's a retailer, and the guy knows his stuff, and he's so personable. He'll have a big deal going on, and he'll be talking to someone about where the cohos are biting. He's just a great guy, super nice. His whole family's great. Always fun sharing Turkey Day with them. They have a Turkey Day where they feed turkey to the community, and just go there and talk ice. And we didn't get to have it this year, obviously, but I've eaten a lot of turkey there with them.
I've made it a point. I've wanted to go to Superior and fish lake trout. Every year I say I'm going to do it. I love targeting lake trout. They're just a fun fish. They fight so hard. So I want to put that on my to-do list.
There's major good trout right in Duluth. Heather and I have been out there fishing, and we've seen trout over 20 pounds caught right next to us. And you can catch a lot. Some days you can catch dozens. And we take pictures. Some people forget their phones or cameras, whatever. We get pictures of them with these big trout, and it's amazing. It's right there. You're not that far off the shore. Be careful for offshore winds. And but I've seen numbers of trout. You can catch dozens of trout, and there's a bunch of little schoolies down there, and the fishing can be great. And Heather, I don't know how, she always catches coho no matter where we fish out there, and hopefully she'll share some with me someday.
So that Chequamegon, he mentioned Chequamegon Bay, that can be a phenomenal fish here. I actually targeted smallmouth bass there years back. Ted Takasaki and unfortunately Jim Hudson was our guide on that trip. But
that's
my joke on the smallmouth is that they fight really hard through the ice until they try to jump, and then they slow down a little bit.
Hey, Joseph, I like using light flies also, especially when I'm fishing Superior, and I always have some packed.
Yeah. Hey, bro, we got one more product I want to cover, and then we're going to have to start wrapping things up here pretty quick. I do want to remind people that continue to send in your comments and your ice conditions and things. We appreciate you guys being here tonight. We are going to pick the winner of the College of Ice Frabill Ice Pack here relatively soon. As soon as the show ends, we're going to just keep it going. We're going to shut down. Bro and I are going to talk to Kai, and we're going to grab a winner, and we'll announce it immediately after the show. So please stick around. It's a great prize pack, $160 or something, including the mug. Yeah, including the mug. So these are awesome.
Not this one, but another one.
Yeah. So, bro, a company called Razor Augers, razorpower.com. They have they've got a 40-volt electric model, and they got a 24-volt electric power, and they got curved blades. And this auger cuts like a dream. It's got forward and reverse. It's even got a built-in light. So if you're in a dark wheelhouse or something like that, you've got it. And those curved blades really cut well. And they got chipper blades too if you're reopening old holes or if you're working some heavy stuff. But they've got
an 8-inch auger will cut 100 holes through 16 inches of ice. So it's twice as much as the competition.
For the 24-volt, which is really impressive. And the good news is they've got it on sale right now at razorpower.com with free shipping for just $399, which is actually with an 8-inch blade, which is pretty awesome.
Are you out of your mind?
Heather, you crack me up. And then they've got the 40-volt model, which I like, and that thing will cut 1,700 inches of ice. That'll get you through a full weekend in most cases. And the 8-inch blade with the curved is $449, and they've got a 10-inch blade with curved blades for $479.99 with free shipping as well. And then, bro, I know you're a fan of the Scout. That's the one that you actually run with a like a Milwaukee drill or something like that. And those things are selling like hotcakes. They're only $80 to about $100 depending on sizes.
Oh, they rip through the ice too. It's unbelievable.
They do. And so they're going to have those, the 4, 5, and 6-inch models are selling out. I mean, their inventory is almost gone already. But they've got you buy one now and you get a 50% off on the second set of blades. So if you have 2 blades and an auger, you're set for, I don't know, a couple of years, I bet, for about $100 or just a little bit more, which is pretty amazing.
Extra blades, especially if you're traveling, just in case you hit something in the ice, or if you're out in the Dakotas, or if you're in an area that has rocks or structure and you don't have a map, so you can't use minnows. Hey,
bro, we're gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick, but I want to talk. We got a really cool show coming up this Sunday at 7 p.m. We got Gussie coming on board. Jeff Gustafson, you guys know him as an elite bass pro, but he's also a hardcore ice angler and loves lake trout. So we're going to go deep into lake trout fishing with him, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
And we also got Shane Dubois, out of Wyoming, and we're also going to go deep into winter trout with him as well. He's originally from Wisconsin, moved out to Wyoming, and is living the trout life out there. So
that's cool area. Really neat stuff out there. It's going to be very interesting. And Gussie, Lake of the Woods, the other side.
Yeah, the north, and he's out of Kenora, which is really going to be kind of cool. And then we've got the guys coming in from Frank's out over in Michigan. I know you've been over there yourself, so talk a little bit about that.
Great guys, Joe Reimer and the boys, but they're not going to have Krabby Dan on the show, but the other guys are going to be there. And Larry's too busy. We're going to have Joe, and we're going to work him over.
Well, awesome. So, guys, this was sort of the Thanksgiving edition of College of Ice. We wanted to really get into some product ideas and some tip for some gift ideas with going out this week. But we're going to get hardcore back into the tips and techniques going forward. Believe it or not, our next show is our halfway through the season already, bro. That's pretty insane.
It's crazy. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Yeah, I'm excited about it, and we're gonna get super hardcore and talk about everything. But we gotta thank the people who brought us here. Thank you, Frabill, and everybody else.
Yeah, we do. Everybody, have a great, safe, happy Thanksgiving. Eat too much, sleep too much, and dream about fishing, because we're going to be getting on the ice here in the next days and weeks. So I'm excited about it. Bro, you and Heather, again, happy anniversary. 26 years, dude. That's
26 years.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys.
I'll drink to that.
And my mother feels actually very sorry for him.
I'll leave you two to talk.
Happy
Everybody,
Happy
hey everybody, we're gonna pull a winner. We'll be right back. Have a great night. Hey, bro, we got a winner.
All right.
Yeah. So Lee Kimball, thank you for listening tonight, and thank you for all your comments and all your participation. It was pretty awesome to have you on board with us tonight, bro. What do you think? It
was a tough. I mean, it's really tough. And congratulations, Lee. And but it was really tough. We have some great viewers, and we're going down the list, so you're going to be winning soon.
So
congrats, Lee.
Yeah, congrats, Lee. Everybody, thanks again for joining us on College of Ice tonight. Bro, you and Heather have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you Sunday night, dude, at 7 p.m.
All right, everybody, be safe on the ice. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this week's College of Ice. Stay tuned for all new episodes coming up.